What's up, y'all? T-Stovall here, coming to you once again from beautiful downtown metropolitan Burkeville, Texas, where we had a little epiphany this morning. I was out in the shop doing a little routine maintenance on my John Deere and listening to the financial networks, and there's a fellow on CNBC Squawk Box this morning who is the senior financial advisor to the 2024 Republican presidential campaign. A fellow named Stephen Moore. He's a pretty smart guy. I've followed Stephen for a number of years. Stephen's a pretty smart fellow, but he said something this morning that just really kind of floored me. What he said was three things. He said at the end of the Trump administration, we were energy independent in this country. Number two, Biden came into office and killed the Keystone Pipeline. And number three, now we're not energy independent anymore. And I'm proud of Stephen Moore because typically only Trump can get that much inaccuracy into one paragraph. But old Steve's giving his boss a run for his money this morning. Here's the facts and the data around all of that, okay? First of all, during the Trump administration, I want to say late 18, early 19, don't remember exactly when it was, Rick Perry was the Secretary of Energy. And Rick came out and said, hey, look, last month, for the first time in history, the United States exported more petroleum than it imported. And Rick said that means we are energy independent. Now, I would not call that independence. To me, independence is more along the lines of self-sufficiency, right? Where you produce all of your domestic energy needs with resources that you mine domestically, right? See, to me, self-sufficiency would be a better definition of energy independence. So I'm not buying that we were energy independent while Trump was president. I will buy that we were net exporters. That happened as the result of fracking, which, is a good thing in my opinion. And I will agree with Rick Perry that it's a good thing, but I would not call it energy independent. But, Rick's an Aggie, and I'm not going to argue with Aggies. If Rick wants to call net exporter energy independent, then that's what we'll call it. Just know that's what it means. Second thing Stephen Moore said this morning is Biden came into office and killed the Keystone Pipeline. Biden did no such thing. The Keystone Pipeline runs from Alberta, Canada, all the way to the Gulf Coast of Texas. It's been up and running for over 10 years, pumping about 700,000 barrels a day. It's pretty dirty oil, to tell you the truth. They strip mine these tar sands from the arboreal forest up in Alberta, and they have to actually mix other crude oil with this stuff to make it thin enough to flow through a 36-inch pipeline. So it's pretty dirty oil, most of which can't be refined in the United States because most refineries in the United States won't process it. So what happens is TransCanada Energy, who owns the Keystone Pipeline, they take that oil from Alberta and they pump it all the way down to Texas, and then they sell most of it on the global market. So, it's that pipeline is up and running. What Biden did is Biden canceled an expansion project known as Keystone XL. Keystone XL would have added volume to the existing Keystone pipeline system. But Biden did not kill the existing Keystone pipeline. Here's the catch. Every drop of oil in the Keystone Pipeline is imported oil. So remember back when we were talking about being net exporters, how much did you export, how much did you import, and if the second number is lower than the first number, then you're net exporters, and we call that energy independence. So you want your imports to be lower. So adding more volume to a pipeline that imports oil is adverse to energy independence. Bringing in more oil from Canada will not make us more independent, whatever the definition of independence may be. And then the third thing Stephen said this morning, and this is what really disappoints me because this is just flat wrong. The first two are kind of, I can see how people would be confused about the definition of energy independence. And, Biden really did cancel Keystone XL, Tommy. I mean, you can't say he didn't, I get it, And so there's a lot of confusion around the first two. But then he says, and now we're not energy independent anymore. Well, dude, using your definition of energy independence, we have been energy independent virtually the entire time Joe Biden has been president. Net exports almost every month Biden has been president. And in fact, we are now producing more oil than any country in the history of oil production. And why? No, I mean, I know why Biden doesn't talk about it, because it drives the left-wing liberal loons, the batshit crazy. So he doesn't want to brag about it. But it's true that we've been net exporters virtually the entire time Biden has been president. So I just want to, clear the air, make sure everybody kind of understands what definitions are. So when people stand up and start saying, BS, right? That we were energy independent under Trump. Well, it depends on what your definition is. Biden canceled Keystone. No, Biden didn't cancel Keystone. And now we're not energy independent anymore, and that's just flat wrong. So, that's my 2 cents this morning. I've been epiphanized, like I said, so expect more of these as time goes on. Wouldn't it be cool if today were the day we all stopped being afraid? Bye, y'all.